That was kind of ridiculous looking, probably. So before I started collecting figures, I was looking at tips and tricks videos and articles online, and one of the biggest things that I found was to bundle your figures and save on shipping. And obviously here, I took that tip to heart. I got both of these big boxes in today, and there is a ton of figures in them, if you couldn't guess by the sheer size of them. I'm not going to be talking about where I got all of these figures in this video particularly, but I will be talking about that in the future. But for this video, I got something special. In my last video, which was actually made about a month ago from when this video is being released, I got this baby right here, this Kyoko Kirigiri, #1 Danganronpa waifu. And since then, it's been a journey for me, okay? If you guys know anything about Kirigiri up here, you might know that she came out with a partner figure. And sitting next to each other, they just look like two peas in a pod, or at least what I've seen from pictures, they just look like they were made for each other. So I went on a journey to find her at a reasonable price, or maybe even a pre-order, and it just so happened that I found her at a semi-reasonable price, and here she is in this box. So before I get any further into what she is or what she looks like, let's actually take a look at her. Alright, I got my parcel all opened up here. Now let's take a look at the first figure in this ultimate double feature video right here. Dang, there she is. I cannot believe I finally got my hands on her. Let's get this bubble wrap off. Here she is. Chiaki Nanami, whichever you prefer, from Danganronpa 2, Super Danganronpa 2. This is a 1/8 scale Chiaki Nanami from Phat Company. She is from Phat Company, just like Kirigiri up there. They're kind of sister figures, both released at the same time and being re-released at the same time. The next re-release is actually in May, so if you're able to find a pre-order, more power to you. But I couldn't, so this is why we got her used. And she is indeed a used figure. You can tell this is a used box, most obviously because of the cracked window on top, which is really disappointing to see now. The seller did tell me about this beforehand, and he even sent me a picture, so I knew it was coming, but man, it hurts to see. On the front, you'll see that it's very similar to Kirigiri's box if you watched my video on that. And once again, they are kind of sister figures, so it makes sense. Kirigiri's box was black, and Nanami's is pink. So it's still a beautiful box. I said in my last video that the Kirigiri box was probably my favorite that I've seen. And I do like Kirigiri's box a little better, but Nanami's is still pretty nonetheless. Okay, it looks like he didn't even tape it up, which I guess that there's a chance you could damage it more if you taped it more, so. Man, this box has been used. I kind of have a feeling this was from the first release of the figure maybe, but hopefully she looks okay. So in the blister here, there is a lot going on. Alright, I got all the parts laid out here. It's honestly not as many parts as I thought it was going to be. It's such an intricate figure that I kind of expected more like attachment pieces, I guess, but there's not too many, which is a good thing. Here are two corded controllers. You can see, I think one goes in her hand maybe, or she's like holding one by the end. The cords are kind of going all over the place, so I was a little worried about these, that they might have been broken when they got here, but they look good so far. There's also another cord, and I don't know if you can see it too well. Yeah, you can kind of see it. It's got a VGA attachment, which I hadn't noticed until it was right in front of me. You see it's got the yellow, white, and red, just like a real VGA cable. Old school. We've then got 3 clear stands, which will be supporting, I assume, Nanami, the television, and Chiaki herself. We've also got this old school CRT TV here. And I didn't notice this before until it was right in front of me, but it's actually got a video game playing on it. It's kind of like old school 16-bit graphics, and you can see Hajime and Nagito down there. This is kind of a nod to something that happens in the game. So just a cool little Easter egg there that I didn't notice before. The base itself is of course a big Monokuma head. This is kind of a 3-in-1 figure. You got Nanami, Chiaki, and then Monokuma on the base. Probably the most interesting base I have. I know I said that Kirigiri's was the most interesting, but I mean, this is literally just a big ominous face staring at you. Kinda nuts. And then we have the ultimate gamer herself, Chiaki Nanami, which I won't talk too much about right now, but I am very pleased with how she looks so far. The worst part about this is that it did not come with instructions. The instructions must have got lost somewhere in this figure's life journey, so I'm gonna put it together, but you guys are gonna have to wish me luck extra this time because I don't know what the heck I'm doing here. Well, that might have been the most stressful figure put together that I've done so far, but I finally did it, guys. Here is Nanami Chiaki. You know, I remember a couple days ago I was watching a figure unboxing video and one of the guys broke a peg off and I was like, huh, I could never do that. And of course, karma came back and bit me right in the butt because I broke this figure a little bit. When I was trying to get one of the controllers into Monami's hand, it kind of has a peg that goes into her left hand, and the peg just straight up broke off. It was very sad, but honestly, once I got the peg out, it was a lot easier to get the controller on. And I mean, this box is so beat up and this figure's a little beat up too, so I'm honestly not too worried about it. The cords themselves are very flexible too. They're very bendable. I thought that they were kind of set in place, but you kind of have to twist them and bend them around once you get them actually set. One of the cords is actually supposed to do a loop around Chiaki's arm, and I really just couldn't get it to a point where I loved it. I think I've got it to a point where it looks okay right now. But I really wish that these cords were more set in stone and less flexible. Other than that, though, the figure looks great. I love the dynamic action pose that they're doing. They're both kind of playing a game. It was easy to tell which controller to plug in because, of course, Monami is player 2. Chiaki, the ultimate gamer, of course, had to be player 1, which kind of made it a little easier to assemble. I am going to have to put her on my top shelf, I think, because the viewing angle from anywhere, if you're like looking above her head, doesn't look very great. She's kind of looking down and all of the accessories are kind of looking down, but if you look at her from the bottom, she looks great. Chiaki herself is in her iconic outfit from the video games. She's got the tights on, she's got the skirt, she's got the Hope's Peak Academy logo on her sweatshirt there, and of course the hood has her cat ears. There's many scenes in the game where she's got the hood up and she's got her cat ears on. And of course, everyone's favorite pin from the game, her little Galaga hairpin, I think is an actual collectible item in the game, if I'm not mistaken, but that's kind of her iconic look there. Her hair, I think, is perfect. Just like Kirigiri, they kind of nailed the ombre style that these Danganronpa characters have, where it kind of starts lighter on top and then darker as you go towards the bottom. They both have that going on, and the figures nailed it perfectly as they are in their portraits in the game. I just think that both of these Phat Company figures that I have just really nailed the Danganronpa look. Danganronpa, I feel like, has a very distinctive art style. Of course, it's like an anime art style, but it just, I don't know what it is, but it just has that distinctive art style, and I think that these figures really nailed that. I've seen a couple other Kirigiri and Chiaki figures, but they don't really stay true to the art style, but these really just feel like the characters themselves. So there she is, guys, Chiaki Nanami, the Phat Company version. This is probably one of the craziest figures that I will ever own. Her and Kyoko just have the coolest bases. I love like unique stances and bases, and both of these figures have that going on for them, and they're gonna look great sitting right next to each other. I'm so excited. If you guys are fans of Danganronpa or Chiaki or Kirigiri, you might have known that there's actually another pair of Chiaki and Kirigiri figures that are a little bigger and a little pricier than these ones too. And honestly, these were not on my radar for the near future at all, but when I saw that Chiaki was being sold by the same person that had this one that I'm about to pull out, I decided, you know, I should bundle them up anyway, save on shipping, right? And I'm not gonna find a better deal than this. So I bit the bullet, and I did it. Oh my goodness, dude. Here is the quarter scale Chiaki Nanami from Danganronpa. This is the bunny version from Freeing, the infamous bunny version. So as I said, I wasn't in the market for this, but this is an MIB, meaning mint in box. So this was from a secondhand seller, but it has never been opened. So it is technically a used figure, but never been opened. So looking at the front of the box, there is a hole in the wall to open up a big window so you can see Chiaki in all of her glory. It just says quarter scale painted figure, B style. On one side of the box, you get a nice full portrait from one angle of Chiaki. It says Super Danganronpa 2 on the bottom, and there is another small window in to see her from the side, although you can't really see her through the blister. On the other side is an even further back view of her full portrait. From another angle too, and it's a similar window, and then it says the Super Danganronpa 2 up there, the Japanese logo. On the back, we have a close-up view of the adorable expression on her face, as well as a chest shot, and then a booty shot, of course, for all of us degenerates. This thing is just gigantic, okay? I'm telling you guys, it's hard to see when you're watching videos of these quarter scale figures, but you don't really know until they're right in front of you. But anyways, I'm gonna get her open, see what she actually looks like. Oh, got all the bubble wrap off. There's no other parts, no nothing, just Chiaki herself here. And she is a beaut. After all the stress that I went through putting that base together, I am very thankful right now that I don't have to do another one. So taking a closer look at her, this is obviously the most detailed figure that I have. When you're working with a quarter scale, I think there's just a lot more room to get those exact details on there. One of my favorite parts that I hadn't really noticed before about this figure is like her little sweater cuffs that she has. Part of the character is that she's always kind of got her hoodie pulled like halfway down towards her hand, and this kind of gives her that little quirk back even when she's wearing like very skimpy clothing. And then of course there's the hat, which is another really unique thing about this figure. Most bunny girl figures kind of have that headband holding the bunny ears on, but Chiaki has kind of like this comfy, cozy little winter's cap on, which is kind of true to her character. She always has her hood up, and it's just kind of a gamer thing, I guess. I don't know what it is, but gamers just like having their hood up and they like being cozy. Looking at her leotard, or her outfit, her onesie thing, whatever you want to call it, that's also very unique from most bunny girl figures. For one, it's white, which is not rare, but definitely different. Most of them are black. And then it's got the buttons going up with the black accent on the white buttons. And then of course when it gets to the top, she's a very busty girl, so it's kind of busting open. It's just a very unique outfit compared to any of the other bunny girl figures that I've seen. And then of course we've got the thigh-high fishnets. Most bunny girls that I've seen, again, are a little different from this. They have like the full pantyhose up to their waist, but Chiaki is true to her character. She sticks with the thigh highs down to her shoes. She's got similar style shoes to what she has in the game, but these are definitely more high heels than what they are in the game, but still they look very similar. If you didn't know this about Freeing's bunny girl figures, the fishnets are real fishnets themselves. I'm feeling it right now. It's kind of like a cloth texture, which was a big reason that I didn't want to get this figure pre-owned. Of course it was pre-owned, I guess, but it was mint in box. And I just feel like these figures, the cloth could get torn really easily. And also, I don't know what these nasty guys on the internet buying these bunny girl figures are doing. I didn't want any type of, type of secretions to get all crusty on these. I'm sorry, that was kind of a gross picture I just painted, but I'm just being honest here. I really love her facial expression too. She's kind of got this like, Chiaki is kind of like a ditzy, like very spacey kind of character. She's always like off in her own world, like thinking about something else, and her facial expression really reflects that. Another very important detail that they nailed here is, of course, the beauty mark on her right breast. That was, if you played the game, there's kind of a swimsuit, a beach section, and that was on her breasts in the real game, so I'm really glad that they paid attention to detail and got that on this figure. Well, and just like that, in one single box, I completed my Chiaki Nanami collection. I think there's a couple other figures, but they all look very bad, and it'd probably be hard to find them. I'm super happy that I ended up getting the B-Style figure with this one, because honestly, I like this B-Style one a lot more. I do love this figure, but the cords and just the whole experience was a little stressful. But either way, I think they're going to look great. I'm going to have them all on a shelf with Kirigiri, and hopefully I'll show you that at the end of this video. But anyways, I hope you guys will like the video if you enjoyed. Obviously you made it this far, so you might as well. If you want to see more unboxings from me, I'm going to be doing a bunch in the next few months. Got a bunch of pre-orders, just all the things. So please subscribe if you'd like to see more. Like I said at the beginning, there's still a few figures in this box, but I'm going to save that for another video and talk about where I got this box exactly. So look out for that probably next week or the week after. But anyways, guys, this has been Max. I really appreciate you stopping by and watching, and I will see you in the next one.